Hey there, everybody, it's MC. Welcome back to another episode of MC's Production School. So this is actually going to be the first episode that is Patreon exclusive, timed exclusive if you're one with the gamer world. This one's coming out on September 1st for the patrons, and unless we hit the goal to have two a month, this will come out October 1st for everybody else. Now this is just a way of making sure that we can reward the patrons for helping support my content. This whole thing, I was even thinking of just making a patron exclusive with no public release, but I realized that's not very fair. Anyways, welcome to the color theory episode on MC's Production School. So today we're going to be talking about color theory and color schemas. And we're not going to be going into like logo design. Like I'm not going to be teaching you how to like make shapes and like fonts and stuff. This is going to be more about theming. And as with every episode of this show going forward, I do want to give the disclaimer that what I say is not the end-all, be-all, absolute, and you know, in some cases, you know, it may disagree with what, you know, traditional people say about like how things should be done. And if that's so, I'm sorry. This is my school of like what I do, what I think that is good practice for making something that's easy, fun, and yourself. So we are going to be using Photoshop today, so I have that all prepared. And I have loaded up this old SuperMCGamer logo. It's technically my most current logo. I haven't like changed or anything, but yes. So we're talking about, you know, your brand, and the big question, of course, is, you know, do you have like a single color logo? Like some cases, and we will be using the quick cheap tools in Photoshop. There's obviously sometimes better ways to do the various things I'll be doing, including paintbrushes and all that. But we're going to be going like in the actual gradient tool. But we're going to be using the cheap effect styles. Just to make it quick. So some people have like solid color logos. Some people have multiple color logos. It's really on you to decide what type of logo you want. You know, and some people, you know, they do a lot of gradients, like you can see in the back. I have that gradient, and sometimes people just like to do like a solid black, or alternatively like, you know, like a matching color like this. And it's really your idea of how you want to go about this. Some people do stripes. I don't have like a stripe graphic ready to go, but like some people do stripes, some people do like tiles, but like you know the not the Matrix, but you know, like pixel art, and how like you know, like a grid, like almost like a Minecraft skin type of thing. Some people like to have like that type of background. It's really on you. Like when I'm talking about backgrounds right now, I'm just kind of like, we're trying to figure out a direction for the rest of the stuff we would create, like in a stream layout, on YouTube videos and everything like that. So this is just, we're trying to get the basics down. And one way I like to start is actually just making like a color palette. And it's really up to you how you want to do that. Again, we're doing it in a very roundabout way. There's much better ways to do this. So please excuse the quick and easy tools if you're a Photoshop and professional. I know. So like one thing I like to do is like think about colors that I like, or I think that would go well together. So like I've been using like a purple blue for a while now, so I like that as like my base main color. And I like to think about like accent colors. Like I like to use whites. Hold on, let's move it out of radial and into linear so you can see it a little bit like that. Decrease this down to 100. There, that's much better. So I like to think about like that color. Like think of the shadows, and this is a very good example of like a shadow color, like darker colors than the main. One way to do it that's really nice is just to take the actual hex value here of that color, bring it into a new one, and then just like darken it here, so that way you're actually not changing the hue on the right hand side here. You're only changing like the lightness or the saturation. But one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to be stuck. Like what I've done in the past, I've had situations where I've gone stuck on colors. Like I've gone stuck on only blues. And eventually, one thing I did do is I started to use a gold as like a highlight color. So something like that. Maybe a little bit more towards the yellow side. Darken it up just a touch. So like if I just take these four colors here, these would I would use these a lot as like basis for my design. So let's just bring these up here. So let's say we're doing that with this logo. So let's say we want our dark colors to be like that dark color we have there. So let's get rid of the solid color and let's do a gradient. You'd obviously want to choose something like your shadow, and then for the second color, you know, maybe even something a little bit darker. If you want to do something lighter, that's your pierogi, my friend. But for all intents and purposes, you know, let's change it up. Let's go with something like this. And you want to reverse it. Ooh, I'm liking that. I'm liking that. And we'll play around with some non-blue colors because I know I'm known for blue. But then here, like we can have our logo be all white. But like let's say we have a stroke on the outside here, like this. That looks pretty awful, doesn't it? But what if we reverse that around? Let's play. Because really, when you get into like ideas of making your own brand, you really just want to play around. You want to find something that's you, something that's different that other people have not done in the past. And that can be hard sometimes because so many people have already done logos and color design. You're never gonna like be able to find a color combination that's entirely you. But you know, what does this freaking look like? You know, this freaking looks like, to me, this looks like a high school logo. Like the blue and gold. Yeah, let's go. My high school is actually blue and gold. But you know, let's play around with some reds, shall we? Okay, so let's make a logo that's red. Let's say SuperMCGamer was somebody who is red. Oops, I don't want to be adjusting that right now. We want to be adjusting our color palette here. This is not always how I do it, but it's a way. So let's just take this red, like our blues, and just make them a straight red color. So we have like a bright red, a dark red. I like the white, but what would be a good accenting color to this? Green? I'll tell you what, absolutely not. Honestly, the yellow is nice. Maybe like a nice bright pink to purple. Ooh, like a magenta. Let's actually make it lighter. Yeah, I'm kind of liking that. So what I like to do here, you know, the cheap way, again, if we want to do the cheap way, would be to have something like a bright pink logo. And then we'll change our background to get rid of that blue that we still have back there. Put to our dark red. Something like this. Kind of looks ugly. Again, I'm doing this all on the fly. Ooh, put it on that dark red again. Ooh, there we go. That could be a SuperMCGamer logo right there. If I was all about the red, if I had red hair, you know. But one thing that you might want to play with, and this thing I have prepared here, is having three different parts of your logo. So if I wanted to, like, you know, keep the white, because the white really does stand out well against colors. It's to go with like a pink or like this, or ooh, I know what we should do. I know what we should do. Sorry if I'm getting a little Bob Ross on you. It really is something that, you know, you have to like spend time to like think about. So we like make this, ooh, a nice light pink. There we go. I'm liking this, and then apply that also to the gamer. Don't be afraid to play around. And if we want to take this logo here, okay, we already got the fill opacity is 0. Okay, it's actually all good. That has the stroke on there. That's pretty nice. Okay, so let's play some more. All right, and let's get rid of our color palette for now. We kind of got going on. One thing you have to think about when you're designing things is not all the time will your logo be on this color. So want to know the problem? So let's say we don't have the stroke. We don't have the stroke enabled. Here's the problem. So if we are streaming and we have something bright, put our logo, you can't see crap. Of course, one solution is to have the stroke, and that helps it out. But another is to have a drop shadow instead. So we go in here and have a drop shadow. Of course, this is the default SuperMCGamer drop shadow. But let's play with it instead, and let's just put it at a distance of 0, size of yay, and decrease that opacity. Spread it out a little bit more. Yeah. There we go. See, this helps it pop off the screen without like having a huge stroke on it. And this is very useful because there's situations like I have this picture of Jackson Prody in the ball pit here from Zeldathon. We're going to use this one because There's a lot of colors going on here, right? We put this under it. That logo still is popping, but it's not perfect. And, you know, that's the situation where you can, like, darken this up a little bit. You can increase the spread. Of course, this is not always the most efficient or cleanest way to do it. Sometimes the stroke is the quick way out. It's about separating the light and the dark. What I like to do for Zeldathon is, in addition to having like a white logo, I like to choose colors. One way, let me show you how I usually determine my colors when I do Zeldathon. So instead of like doing it on a pure white background or a pure black background, what I usually do instead is use a white black. Let's put it on linear. 145. 145 would be 135, right? Technically, for a direct angle there. I don't know, MC. So if we change this, so it's right down the middle. Again, there are better ways to do this than what I'm demonstrating. Please excuse my shanty tactics. So I do this, and it's pretty easy to see if we have no drop shadow. Okay, you can still see it well on the dark, but on the white, it's really hard to see. And, you know, the alternative solution to this, to help maybe make it pop, would be to, like, maybe change this logo color to do that, or to have it be another accent. Ooh. Something like that. That's nice. I mean, even that pink is still a little light on there, so, like, you know, just adding a little bit more shade into it would help. You know, something like that. And I know this doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm still new to this whole school thing. I hope it makes sense. But it's a little bit of idea of how I like to figure out what works and what doesn't. Because, you know, once you get something going like this, you can start to really have fun. And, you know, you can, you know, take this image of Jackson Perotti. You can take your logo. Let's put the drop shadow back on. And if we put this image of Jackson under there, if we reset this gradient back to normal, let's just make this a nice dark gradient here. Put it back onto radial gradient, reverse it, scale it up a little bit more. Sure. Actually, we could probably lighten that up just a touch, Ooh, there we go. So if we take this and we take our opacity on this and we like do something like overlay. Is it overlay? Frick. Am I screwing everything up? Oh, let's do it on here. Let's do it on this one. How about that? Overlay. You can get some cool effects going on like this. That's real nice. Want to see something scary? This is scary. We don't want that. Even when you play with it, it still looks a little scary. No, darkens scary. Multiply would be fun. Multiply is nice. Screen will get rid of like all the dark colors. So it'll be mostly like light colors. And this is how you can kind of create like really fun looking images. And in situations like this, you might not even need the drop shadow anymore because it's darkened up enough. Heck, if we go back to overlay, you know, you don't need that drop shadow anymore, which makes it so much better. Honestly, you want to try to avoid those drop shadows wherever possible. Just mess around with the settings because these blend modes I can never really know. I've never really memorized which ones look good. Overlay looks nice almost always. You get stuff like that, so you get that gradient still applied. And it's fun, it's different, and it's cool. And I hope this makes a little bit of sense to you. Again, as always, with the production school episodes, I like these episodes to be kind of like the start of discussion. I don't really want these things to be like, okay, here's MC's talking for 15 minutes, and then it's over, and that's all he'll say on the subject of color schemas and theory. Instead, I would rather you guys at home, if you have questions and you're on the Patreon page, you know, submit them on Patreon, or if this when this video comes out on YouTube, submit them in the YouTube video, and I'll try to make responses to like everything on my ideas. And again, once again, I want to make sure it's clear. I don't claim to be the all-knowing seer of everything. I just am trying to impart some of the knowledge that I have that I've used on Zeldathon, on my personal projects, all over the place. So I hope that makes sense. And of course, again, thank you to everybody on my Patreon page for their support. I hope that these videos are instructive and entertaining in a way, you know. I do have more episodes coming soon. Again, we have episodes on like stream layouts, like audio hardware, video hardware, just commentary. I want to do something like on every facet of production in both like recorded and live, you know, and we can revisit subjects later down the road. And of course, on the Patreon page, you also get access to Zeldathon sneak peeks. I'm going to do a monthly sneak peek into what's been going on, early episodes of this show, of course, the newsletters, and more. We got postcards. So check out the page if you want to. If not, it's fine. I'm just glad you're here enjoying the content, and I hope I was at all informative or helpful today. Thanks for watching very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.